Good morning, everyone. It is currently about 6:30 in the morning. I have my room light on because it is getting darker outside as time goes on here as we're rolling into fall. And I also have two kitties who are very curious as to what I'm doing. So you're probably going to see them prowling around here. But I wanted to film a quick little Q&A video of questions people asked me when I told them I was doing a Q&A, but also questions that I get a lot in my message section on Instagram. So let's just jump right into it. The first one wasn't a question, but someone said, "Congrats on your awesome weight loss." So I just wanted to say thank you to whoever that person is, but not a question, but we'll move on. So someone else asked, "Did you get the bypass, the lap band, or something else?" I got what's called the vertical sleeve, which is kind of between a lap band and a bypass. So a lap band, you only are trying to lose like 50 pounds, not super major, it can be reversed. A bypass is non-reversible and pretty intense because they are rerouting your intestines and doing all of these things. I had a vertical sleeve. It is not reversible, and it's kind of in the in-between where you still have a significant amount of weight to lose, but you don't really have a lot of health issues. So I just have a smaller stomach than most people. They cut out a huge portion of my stomach, and I just have a smaller stomach that's been stapled up the side. So that is what I had. Vertical sleeve gastrectomy. So would I do it all over again? I get this question a lot, or like, do I regret anything or anything like that? And my answer is yes, I would do it again in a heartbeat, and no, I have never regretted this process. Even on my hardest days, even when I had to go back to the hospital with a period complication, I still would do it all over again because I feel so much stronger mentally, so much stronger physically, and I feel like just a better version of myself that I was a year ago. So I would definitely do it all over again. Do I eat regular foods, and does anything upset me? Thankfully, nothing really upsets me, like crazy upsets me. Since getting my gallbladder removed in July, dairy foods they kind of go right through me, which is TMI, but I try to avoid dairy as best as possible. But other than that, nothing like makes me dump, like dumping syndrome. Nothing is super uncomfortable for me. So, oh my gosh, these cats today. Miko, what are you doing? So yes, that is my answer to that. Do I weigh my food out? And then the follow-up question to that is, do I count my macros, count my calories, or log my food? So before I actually had the surgery, for 6 months I had to see a nutritionist, and that was a insurance requirement for my type of insurance. Not everyone has that. A lot of people can just get covered for surgery and do it. So, but for me, it was mandatory. And at the time, I was pissed that I had to do that. But now looking back, I'm really glad that I had to do the 6 months because I really learned what I should be eating, what I shouldn't be eating, how much, what I should be focusing on a plate. I learned all of that before surgery, so when surgery actually happened, since surgery, I haven't logged really anything. I don't count any macros. The only thing I count, and it's in my head every day, is approximately how many grams of protein I eat. And the reason I count this in my head is because since I don't eat animal products, the big question is, where do I get my protein? There's protein in everything. I just want to make sure I'm hitting at least 60 grams a day. So I'll just kind of like add it up little by little in my head throughout the day based on the knowledge I already have. I do not use MyFitnessPal. I do not, log every single thing I eat. And for me, that works because the more restrictive I am and the more obsessive I get about my macros and about calories and all of that, the worse off I feel. So I feel like it's better for me to just not do that at all and eat intuitively, because then I'm using my brain and I'm asking myself, am I full? Is this healthy for me? Like, should I be eating this? And that way, I am more just questioning myself and actually being, like, intentional with what I'm putting in my body. So for me, not counting has actually been the most beneficial for me. Sorry if I sound congested also. I've been sick since I've gotten back from a wedding this weekend. So, this was more for the beginning of my surgery, but did I feel like my sleeve wasn't working? So, someone reached out and said that, like, they're super, like, they just had the surgery and they feel like their sleeve isn't working. They're not feeling like that hunger, or they're not feeling that full feeling, and it's, like, weird to them, the whole process. So, I will say this. There's two areas of hunger. There's actual physical hunger, and then there's emotional hunger in your head. And it's very hard to separate those two from each other, and it's very easy to bring them back together. So physical hunger, I was not physically hungry. It's hard for me to get physically hungry. However, emotional hunger, that's a different story. I would emotionally be hungry this whole process because I'm used to eating huge meals all the time and, you know, mindlessly eating when I'm watching something or doing something. So, yeah, physical hunger, no. Mental hunger, yes. And also, it is weird to wake up after surgery because you still feel like the same person and you're like, I just have a smaller stomach. Is this actually going to work? And so, a lot of times throughout the process, I wasn't sure whether or not I would still be losing weight or if it would just randomly stop at some point. So, that is my answer to that. What is my favorite vegan protein powder? So, to be honest, I really prefer the, like, pre-made protein bottles, like they're already liquid form. So in the beginning, I was using the Premier protein shakes that everyone uses. You can get them at Costco, Walmart, Target. But the dairy in them were upsetting my stomach. I don't know, something wasn't sitting right very early on with those. So I switched to Advantage protein shakes. I think they're by the brand EAS or something. I think they're made for diabetic patients, but you can still drink them. They are 17 grams of plant-based protein and I think 100 calories. My favorite flavors are vanilla and cold brew coffee, but there's also chocolate and dark chocolate. Those are still really good. They're just like, I prefer vanilla or cold brew. But as far as powders go, I do have a few powders and I like to make smoothies on the weekends with them. But my favorite formula, I guess, that I've tried is the Orgain protein powders. So I really like their chocolate and their peanut butter. Those are the ones I've tried. I also do have Vega. I have Vega Vanilla and Vega Vanilla Sport, but those are a grittier texture. So I know a lot of people don't like that gritty texture, so I would avoid those if you're not a fan. It doesn't bother me, but I know it bothers some people. So, yeah, those are the proteins. But for liquid, I would say Advantage protein. And then for powder, I would say Orgain. What do I do when I work out? So, when I first started this process, I was still a student in college in Illinois, and I had free group fitness classes as well as a free gym. And so I would go to 5 group fitness classes a week, and then sometimes one day a week extra I would go to the gym. But I was kind of like a workout maniac, and most of those fitness classes were like cardio based, I would say, like lots of Zumba, bar, although bar is sort of strength training, and then HIIT classes and stuff. So lots of cardio. I would definitely recommend working out early on during this process because the first 6 months is kind of the honeymoon period and you want to take advantage of that. as best as possible. So I was like crazy working out, and in a healthy way too. Like I was eating enough, getting enough protein. I was actually up in protein than I am now. Now I am not a college student. I live in Colorado. I don't have free group fitness classes, so things have changed a little bit. I got a Planet Fitness membership, and since moving here, we've been here like almost 4 months. I've had a lot of ups and downs with going to the gym. I had my gallbladder being out in the middle there, so I stopped going, and then I wanted to get back into it, and it kind of seems like it's a roller coaster for me to go to the gym now, which is okay, but I'm really hoping that I can get back into it, and I really want to start strength training and not doing cardio anymore. And it's not because I don't like cardio, but I feel like at this point in my journey, I feel like strength training is the best way for me to really tone up and lean out. So I'm going to look into doing like arm days, leg days, full body type things. So if anyone has recommendations for that, put it down below. And my final question is, am I a vegan or a vegetarian? So I've been vegetarian for almost 2 years, and I have dabbled in veganism throughout the whole time. I think being vegan is the best thing you can do for yourself, for the planet, for the animals, for everything. But there is healthy vegans and there's junk food vegans. And oftentimes when I've gone vegan before or tried it, I've just been like a junk food vegan, like eating french fries all the time. But since getting my gallbladder out, since dairy hadn't been sitting well with me, and I was kind of like running to the bathroom every time I ate it, I decided like I'm just gonna try the vegan thing again. And I don't really there is a negative connotation with the word vegan, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because there's some vegans that are so aggressive, but I'm pretty lax when it comes to like other people's food choices. I don't even like telling people how I eat or what I eat unless they ask, just because I kind of like to like slide by sneakily. But so in like my Instagram profiles, or if someone if I needed to tell someone, I would just say I'm plant-based, and that's because there's less of a negative connotation. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I am a vegan, myself. I don't use cruel makeup. I don't buy animal skins or products. Like, I don't buy wool. I don't buy leather, silk, all of that. I try to live in a way that doesn't hurt or affect as many people or things as possible. So I am a vegan. It's just like I'm not like running around screaming that, and I think that's okay. I don't know if this is something I can sustain forever, but right now I feel fantastic, and since cutting out dairy, it really has helped me with energy levels and just feeling better overall. Like, I'm not feeling sick throughout the day. One thing that really does help is that my job does provide breakfast and lunch and snacks throughout the day, and they always have a vegan option, and it's always a healthy vegan option. So I know that that's a privilege, and I know not everyone has that at their work or at their school, but I will say that it is not hard to shop the fruit and vegetable sales, or you can get canned fruits and vegetables, brown rice, whole grain bread, or bagels and things like that. Those are not always expensive, and people think that living this lifestyle of restriction, even though it's not restrictive at all, is expensive, and it does not always have to be. So with that, I will leave you guys here. This is almost a 15-minute video now. I did not expect it to be that long, but I'm planning to getting back into filming, so if there's anything you want to see, please leave it down below. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time. Love you. Peace.